Well, hello there. I am Aya Fabarinelli. I am a best-selling author of Live Your Abundant Life and a life coach, as well as an attorney. And recently, I spoke at an event, and one of the participants emailed me with a question. And I just felt strongly that the question that she's posed is one that others may have as well. And so I've decided to answer her question in this format. And I hope that if this is something that resonates with you, that you share it widely amongst your friends and people in your sphere of influence. So the question was simply this, and I'll read exactly what she said. She said, I thank you for the tremendous message that you gave at the event. When you first opened up, you gave an opening and then you said, we lack love for ourselves. I could not stop crying. I can't remember why I lack love for myself. Can you maybe fill in what you were sharing? I sure appreciate it. Absolutely, it is my pleasure to fill this in, because this is something that I think that plagues so many of us. Let me start with this premise. This is my foundational premise. You know, the Bible tells us that we should love others as we love ourselves. Most of us who consider ourselves to be good people talk about the golden rule, which is to treat others as we would like to be treated. But when you really look at the definition of love that's out there, that's widely disseminated, a lot of times it's really focused on what we do for others and the desire we have for others and the appreciation we have for others. And so when I talk about a lack of self-love, when I'm talking about self-love, I'm really talking about getting to a point where we are beginning to apply those same concepts of love first to ourselves. Because if we truly do not have an appreciation for who we are, if we don't value who we are, if we don't see ourselves as having great worth, then it is virtually impossible to then ascribe to someone else what we don't even have for ourselves. Does that make any sense to you? So in other words, when I am deficient in self-love, to say that I love somebody else is really not true love, because what you find is that it's a lot of manipulation. It's a lot of let me give you what I think you want so that I can get what I want, as opposed to really an overflow of good feelings, in which case it really doesn't matter how the other person responds, because you did it out of the abundance of your life. So the best definition that I've seen of self-love actually comes from Dr. Deborah Koshaba. And she puts it this way. She says, self-love is a state of appreciation for oneself that grows from actions that support our physical, our spiritual, our emotional, our psychological growth. So when people tell me, you know what, I am in this relationship, I do all the work, I bring in all the money, I bend over backwards for this person. They don't help out at all at the home, in the home. They are very irresponsible with the funds that I bring in. They don't show me any appreciation. And I've been doing this for years and years and years. How can you help me fix this person? I'm like, this is not about the other person. This is about how you value yourself. This is about what you think is acceptable for you. And until you get to a point where you start to see yourself as having value, even if this person were to leave your life, you will just go and attract someone else who is exactly the same way. Think about it this way. When you have something of great value, maybe it's a brand new car that you just got, or beautiful, shiny, piece of jewelry that you wanted, or this Coach purse, or whatever it might be that floats your boat. How do you treat it? Do you just, hand it over to the first person who shows up and say, hey, this person kind of looks cute, let me give it to them? Do you toss it to the ground? I know women who are like, oh my gosh, my purse has to sit on a chair or has to be hanging. They actually carry purse hangers, so that their purse never touches the floor, because what you value that. And so the way you treat it reflects that value that you have. Well, the same is true for us. So perhaps you grew up in an environment where people did not teach you to have value for yourself. I just read a horrifying story of a mother who was actually selling her infant daughter for sex. So that child already has memories, already has physical things that has happened to her that she's going to have to overcome in life. If nothing is done to intervene, that child grows up feeling, I'm worthless. I'm worth $5 or $20, or even if it's $1,000 that someone paid to unfairly, use her body in that way. So what do we do if we, for whatever reasons, have grown up without an understanding and appreciation of who we are and our self-worth? Well, there are answers, okay? So the first thing that I would recommend to you is that you study and you embrace what your creator says about you. Now, I don't know what religious background you come from, but I hope you believe in something. I hope you don't believe you just fell out of the sky. And if you did, I'm not sure that I can help you, okay? But for any religion that you're a part of, and specifically for those of you who believe in God, you were created by a being who didn't just say, I have nothing to do, let's toss this one out. Everything about you was planned. The Psalm says that you were knit together in your mother's womb. Your eye color, the shape of your face, your hands, what you're able to do. I mean, all of that was thought out, and you were created and predestined for great works. So I would say go back first and just do some research and say, what does my creator say about me? Everything that God created, he looked at it and said, this is good. Can you possibly believe that when he created you, then he looked at you and said, this is bad, I'm leaving it that way? No. So find your value first in who created you. And that way, no matter what anybody else is saying, you know what your value is. Okay, I often use this example of a $100 bill. If a $100 bill is crumpled by one person, thrown in the trash, vomited on, just nasty stuff done to it, and someone else goes and takes it and rinses it off, or even if they don't, they just let the crud dry on it and take it into the bank. Is it still worth $100? Yes, it is. Its value has not changed just because one person decided to not see it for what it was. Okay, so first thing is go back to your creator. Who does he say you are? Embrace that. Study it, believe it, embrace it. Second thing is forgive yourself. So many of us harbor so much unforgiveness towards ourselves, for mistakes we've made, especially if we're dealing with some really harsh consequences from it. So it is time to let go, okay, and just say, that was the past. I am not my past unless I choose to dwell there, and to embrace your future and to say I'm a new person making better decisions moving forward. Get over it and move on, okay? So that you can feel better about yourself and you don't keep doing the same things over and over again. And then the final thing I would say is practice self-care. Again, it's like a muscle, okay? If you don't work it, it doesn't get stronger. Remember when you started learning your ABCs, you had to say it over and over and over again. So practicing self-care, start making good choices for yourself. You reach for something, you say, is this going to feed my body or is this going to kill my body? When you want to stay up and watch a movie when you should be going to sleep, say, what does my body need now? This entertainment or rest? When someone calls you and offers you an opportunity, ask yourself, does this line up with my values? Does this reflect me taking care of myself? When those family members who always call upon you when they need something, call upon you, do you just drop everything again for them? Or do you say, right now, I'm going to take care of myself because I'm not going to die, of high blood pressure, trying to get you guys to accept me. So start making decisions and choices that show that you value yourself. The same way you've been pouring out and doing for other people, going into debt even for other people. How about you take a moment and say, what will God have me do? What's in my best interest? Psychologically, physically, spiritually, emotionally. How do I take care of myself? And you start doing these three things, you are going to find that your love meter for yourself goes way up. You feel better. You're going to attract better into your life. I hope that this really helps you, and I welcome any questions that you may have. You can just send them to info, I-N-F-O, at ayaanelli.com. That's AYAENELI.com. Have a blessed day.